Okay, thank you. I'm going to share my screen. I'm not like really familiar with Zoom a lot, but hopefully it will work. Just let me know if I am sharing it like now. It's working.
It is.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I am going to share in the chat this like a small uh, window. It has like the notes for the presentation. It's going to be like, I hope, a really quick one. But anyway, the idea is to share with you the advances in documentation approach that we have been working over here. And yeah, as usual, sorry for my English. This is the only one I have, but hopefully I will make myself clear. So the last time we were talking about like MARDIP, that is like this, let's say, superset of Markdown that allows you to publish stuff in the web. Like you just add a little bit of yeah, JavaScript snippet, and you can have like I think that really well looking documents. So I'm going to reload this, and yeah, this is Mardip, and you have like a lot of features that are like, I think that like kind of well done, with diagrams and stuff like that. And we talk about how we can use that for the creation of data narratives. So for example, if you see how Lepiter, the tool that has the Glamorous toolkit to create data narratives, if you see how this is done in Lepiter, this stuff that you're seeing in the window at the left is publishing from Lepiter, from this tool to create data narratives inside the Glamorous toolkit. And yeah, it's the usual data narrative. No, it has like prose and also like static graphics and a little bit of code, and you intertwine these snippets of code, text, and graphics, and you tell a data story. So we use kind of the same. We create this idea, taking some lessons from Graphoscopio, the tool I created in 2015 for my thesis before Lepiter existed. But the issue is that with our approach, what we did was to create this, let's say, if you see like the source code behind these data narratives, you are going to see that these are like really like terse markup. It's just Mardip. So inside this code, for example, this green like admonition, you can find that it's just this. So it's a really like terse yeah, markup for that. And if you see inside inside this is, yeah, the usual HTML with a lot of stuff that is like really hostile for humans to read. Here we are trying to have like semantic breaks. So you just break the paragraph when you are like trying to make sense of an idea, instead of this long, really long, like one paragraph per line, yeah, kind of reading. So we start with this, and we can create the same data narratives where you intertwine prose with code, with graphics, and you can tell a data story. But we have behind the scenes this really easy to use markup that is almost the one that is used inside Lepiter to write data narratives. And the idea is to have, I am going just to see this. So the idea is to have to incorporate the lessons from Graphoscopio. As I told you, Graphoscopio was this tool that I made in my PhD. It was my first program ever in Smalltalk. I mean, a free program. So the issue is that you can tell the code is really crappy, but it was my let's say newbie code to work with data narratives. And the idea is to incorporate the lessons that we did, we learned since 2015 into Lepiter now. So we have done a lot of projects, like for example, the Graphoscopio handbook. The Graphoscopio handbook was written everything inside Graphoscopio. So this book is written inside Graphoscopio. Graphoscopio is just a window that has like these tree-like documents with pieces of let's say hierarchical information that just combine Markdown with Faro. And you can use the like self-referential properties of this document. So you can put a lot of options. So you can create documents that are reproducible. So inside the document, there is a lot of information about how you can reproduce the document and export that if you have like the software. So we use Pandoc to create this. If you see, in fact, this document, this important information, graphoscopio, for what and from who, is the same stuff that is over here. So important information, graphoscopio, all this is the same document, but now is a good looking PDF with a lot of stuff inside. And the issue is that here, and we create a lot of books like that. So we like create the same, I did this for my thesis. So we take, so, for example, some documents that are like open licensed, but not open source. You can, there is a lot of stuff like that in the web. So it's something that is under Creative Commons license, but it's only a PDF. So you cannot do anything. It's like, I say that that's like the let's say, nominal freedoms versus the factual freedoms. So here is this document, is under Creative Commons, do whatever you want with the PDF. Like, okay, thank you, but I cannot do a lot of it with the PDF only. Versus the factual freedom. So here is this document, is open source and is under an open license. So we take documents that are under an open source license, but we don't have the source code, and we like reverse engineer the document, so we can have like these, let's say, good looking documents in several formats, PDF, EPUB, and we can have also the documents in this like really light. Oh, sorry, I am not going to show you this over here. But the idea is that we can have like these like really well looking documents as graphoscopio documents that are like really light. So for example, this 13 megabytes PDF is 600 kilobytes graphoscopio documents, because everything is in a source code repository and you just compile that from this document. So the idea is that, and we did this like several times. For example, we did this reverse engineer process with other books that were about like data and the intersectional feminists as a theoretical framework to understand division of power into naturalized binary relationships. So the idea that you have like binaries, and in those binaries you have natural power relationships, user, developer, or binary source code and stuff like that. And we create this other book that is a reverse engineer piece. So, and I show you this in other tools. So there is this really complex, I will show you again, but let's show you in this way. So this is the same, this is a book that is published in the MIT pop-up sub or something like that. This is a book that was in the MIT pop place. I will just show you. And this is the same book side by side. So here is in our, what we call, oh, sorry. This is in, okay, it's over here. So this is the book inside, inside the MIT Press infrastructure for publishing open books. And this is the book in what we call our Pocket Infrastructures book. So again, it's the same idea of simplifying infrastructure to amplify and diversify participation. So we did this in a couple of weekends, and I don't know how long to take to put this infrastructure into place beyond like writing the book. And it's a really complex infrastructure. If you see again the source code behind, is like this really ununderstandable. Yeah, you cannot understand this opaque HTML with a call to JavaScript. But if you see what is happening behind, is just again this like really easy and terse markup format. And behind this is also a fossil repository. For those who don't know, fossil is like really easy to use, let's say GitHub in a box way of dealing with your source code, but you don't have all the overhead of yeah, Git is this collaboration system that was born inside the kernel developers, Linux kernel developers culture, and you like export that into every culture now. If you want to collaborate and you collaborate via GitHub or Git, you get all this overhead of the workflows intrinsic from kernel development in a huge problem. So this is not like that. This is for SQLite, the most developed database in the world. And it has like another way of dealing with this, with collaboration. And this is just a 3 megabytes binary file that has everything that the books needs to have inside to be published. So instead of this over complex publishing infrastructure from the MIT, we have this hyper simple infrastructure that is just combining Graphoscopio with Fossil. And we're trying to re-implement these ideas that are kind of old from 2015 into Lepeter now, that is more recent, now that we have this new infrastructure. And there is this book that is called the Documentathon. It's a collective book about how we in the Graphoscopia community write collective books. So it's a book draft that was written in collective about how we use all these tools to read in collective, including these, let's say, easy to take notes systems. That was like the old presentation. And if you see this approach, the idea is that we have a Stone, and in Stone we have this tree-like document where we intertwine just Markdown with a little bit of Faro. That's it. It's just a really easy to read, human readable format where you can like exchange, intertwine like Markdown with Faro, and this document is self-referential, so you can read the document to know how to reproduce the document. And that was the idea behind Graphoscopio, to create this reproducible publishing. But what happens now if we want to publish interactive data narratives documents that have a little bit of interaction? Because yeah, we can have like this similar approach to Lepeter, like where you just put like this let's say static this is not one. Let's say static documents, no? If you want to see, if you want to see what is over here, no, not here, over here, you have like these static documents. But what happens if you want to have a little bit of interaction, like not a static document like the one that we have like in using Marlib or using HTML, but you want to have like a little bit of interaction. So we start to extend Lepeter. I am going to show you now. This is, Lepeter has some glitches, in particular in Linux. You can tell that none of the main developers of Lepeter uses Linux as their main computing platform. But anyway, so maybe we're going to see some glitches in the Lepeter interface. But the idea is this: I have like a document, a Lepeter document that has these Markdown cells with a little bit of Faro code inside, and I want to export this as a document that has like, let's say, progressive interactive pieces. So what I'm going to do is to go to the inspector of this document, and I am going to send this message. So I want that this document, so this page itself, is going to be exported as an HTML file. So I'm just run this code. I'm going to show you. And this creates in a little bit an exported version of the document. And this exported version of the document that should be shown in a little, this one is an HTML file. But if we want to see this HTML file, I'm going to press this play button, and I know a new tab is open. So is this. And if you can see over here, I'm going to just close over here. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. So this document is this one, but with a nice format, is web native or web readable. And yeah, it's kind of Jupyter. It's kind of Jupyter Labs, but I think that has a better approach. When I was starting to do my thesis, the idea was that, I want to explore, and I want to tell you in a little bit, the question of how we can change the digital tools that change us. So the idea is, as we know, we introduce a digital tool in a community, in a relationship, in a group of people. The people is changed by the technology, but most of the people cannot change the technology back. So I want to start to explore this, and I try to, in fact, to hack at that moment was ePython before 2016 or 17, I think. It was not still named Jupyter. And it was like really like noisy, like a lot of technologies, client and server programming, objects, scripting, JavaScript, Python, like a lot of stuff everywhere, instead of this, like, let's say, uniform environment that the Smalltalk provides us with this idea of as a self-referential metasystem. My idea in my thesis was to introduce self-referential metasystems inside grassroots communities, so those communities could change the tools that change that community. So the idea is that because the tool that they are using is a meta system, they're able to learn the tool and to learn how to change the tool. And Smalltalk was better for this kind of exploration instead of Jupyter. So yeah, I took Jupyter into consideration, but my idea was to explore this introduction of meta system in grassroots communities. So the idea is that we have like this document, and as you can see, most of the code.
Just to
Sorry,
check, how much more time do you need? Because we've sort of gone over the 10 minutes, but I'm happy to let you go on for a few more minutes. Is that
okay? Maybe I think that 3 to 5 minutes top. Perfect. Maybe 3.
Okay, yeah. And then Hernan's next. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I just lost the time. So as you can see, this stuff is like this one. Like you can like see a mapping between prose and the title and the prose and the code. But this last one is not exported as code. Is an interactive calendar. So you can like enable and disable stuff, and you can put more stuff. So it's something that is like, if you have like an element that has an HTML view, and in this case, this HTML view is an eCharts component. So there is this library that we're using, it's called Apache eCharts. You can use these Apache charts to create interactive pieces inside your data narrative, and to explore that and to export that as part of your data narratives. So a little bit just to finish my presentation is that the idea is that we are exploring this idea of data narratives as our way to ask ourselves how we can change the digital tools that change us. That's our idea. Is in grassroots communities, and is for non-programmers. As myself, I am not a professional programmer. Because I think that developers is this kind of insiders culture, no? Like if you see like this idea that it's natural for developers to start with a test, that's not natural for journalists, activists, natural and social scientists. They want to start with the storytelling. So data narrative is a way to introduce that for all that other population. And most of the people don't come from zero. For them is not natural. I don't know, but you can make a joke, no? Like 3 C programmers enter into a bar and ask for 2 beers. Like nobody outside programmers comes from zero. And let's not talk about like Hello World. I have a long rant about like Hello World as a compelling first example. It's not. It is not. Like if you try to teach this stuff to non-programmers, this is not the stuff that they are thinking that is compelling. So I think that what we are doing with these like interactive data narratives is to bring the ideas beyond moldability and self-referential metasystems that are well embodied in Smalltalk to other people. So for example, this semester I'm going to teach in the university something for library and information sciences. It's for librarians, people who is like teach learning, or like they are librarian apprentices in the university. And I'm going to introduce these tools to them. But the idea is to use these tools beyond like developers and the, like, let's say, insiders developers culture. That has nothing wrong, but I think that we need to start to explore these bridges beyond. And that's it. So the package is called MiniDocs. I'm going to, it's already in the notes that I shared with you at the beginning, which is called MiniDocs because of this minimal approach to documentation. And yeah, these documents that are exported as HTML, they have like a really let's say sparse also source code behind. So if you see, we use, as I told you, Fossil as our main like repository, and you can see the source code of this document over here. And it's again this idea of, and it's again this idea of, it's over here. Of using Markdown with metadata that is taken from, like, is represented in Stone. So we switch the idea. Instead of a Stone document that has intertwined Markdown and Faro, we now have like a Markdown document that has these divs with all this metadata that allow us to like import the document back into Lepitor. And that's it. So thank you. Sorry for the yeah.
No, it's fine. It's very interesting. Any questions for Offray?
Yeah. Well, I actually wanted to observe something. When you do as HTML, huh, you have a representation of your object inside the browser, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I imagine, at that point, you cannot go back, in the sense that there is no concept of inspector of anything.
Oh yeah. So the idea, what we think is that for use cases, let's say that the web is some kind of dehydrated Smalltalk. So we don't want to have like a web native, total interactive, full Smalltalk re-implemented into the web. We want to have people who is able to interact with documents that has these like pieces of interaction inside the document, and they are able, if we want to import the document back into the image. So our approach, because we are like a really small team, we're like just two persons and not working like full time, is to have like these interactive pieces that you can import back into Lepitor. So our idea is not to have like in Jupyter or in Livebook, Elixir's Livebook, to have like this complete image that is a implementation of a Smalltalk in the browser. Is more about like having these like documents that have a little bit of interaction and that you can import back into your image. So it's a way of publishing mostly.
Yes, I imagine that. Yes, the problem with the browser is that one way you represent stuff, but you cannot go back. That's it.
You could if you re-import the document back into the image, and we have all this metadata to make that possible. So with this ID, parent, created, and even all the other stuff, we can like re-import the document back with all the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the critical bit, isn't it?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And I see that MarkDeep is sort of a well-recognized standard, isn't it? It's not something, you know, I just looked it up. It seemed like it's kind of recognized in multiple places. So it's quite a good format to use. Yeah,
it is not the one that I like the most, but it's the one that is like already over there. It's kind of a de facto standard. So what we are is using that standard to represent our documents and to share that with a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but the people that is interested in to use our documents. So that's our approach. And the advantage is that once we have with this metadata in the document, we can like import that as a Lepitor document with all with a lot of even more metadata. So yeah, we can like fine tune the output, so we can like rehydrate the document back into the image with these like really easy to use extended Markdown format.
Nice.